All right, guys, for today's video, we're jumping into the overall championship at this last weekend's Ben Weider for the fit model division. And the reason is I get so many questions right now about the criteria, what I'm seeing. I had a lot of requests for feedback from the athletes, and I love it. I love that I've been to every national show this year. I love that Pro Physique has had 8 competitors turn pro, including multiple overall champions, including this show, as well as the Amateur Olympia. So we're really getting a good sense for the division. And so if you want any feedback from us, please let us know. I'd love to give you guys some support. You can always email me, training@prophysique.com, if you want some feedback. It also is pretty easy if you just go to my Instagram, Lexie's Instagram, Coach Stephanie's Instagram, Evan's Instagram, and just send us your pictures and say, hey, what are your thoughts on, my physique? What division do I fit in? So let's get right into the judging here now. The people of the Ben Weider were nice enough. They gave me like an executive badge. So I was literally one seat behind the judges. If you see on the screen right here, the gentleman with his the black shirt and the bald spot, that's Bill Sibilia. Bill was the head judge for this show. He was also the head judge for the Amateur Olympia. He was also the head judge at USA's. He will be the head judge for many shows, including pro shows around the globe. So he is as much of an authority on this division as anyone. So I just thought we jump right into it. So this is the top 4. This is the class winners for the Ben Weider. So the way the Ben Weider worked was you had to win your class, and then in the overall, they award top 2. So they're basically looking at placing everybody 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And they're deciding who's who. So you've got Class A, Class B, Class C, and Class D. Right now, the rules are up to 5'2" is A, 5'2" to 5'4" is B, 5'4" to 5'6" is C, 5'6" and over is D. Okay. And I will say this, the show was big. There were as many as over 20 competitors in most of the classes. It may have been the biggest fit model show of the year. The Ben Weider is also drug tested. But currently, I don't believe there's an advantage to being natural or being on drugs in this division. It is a muscle competition for sure, but I don't think that that's going to deter people from winning or losing based on, their status with drugs. It's a really fun division to watch because it's changing rapidly. And I don't mean the criteria is changing, but the number of people and the caliber of people that are entering it are changing pretty quickly. So, we'll get right into this, and let's talk a little bit about this top 4 here. Right away, what stands out to you? What stands out to you? I know what stands out to me. The shape of the lady in the pink and the shape of Ebony, who is in the blue suit. So she is second from left. And so when you see that tiny waistline, that curve in the lower back into a glute with a shoulder, this reminds me of the early bikini. And I know, the division's called fit model. Don't get it twisted. This is bikini circa 2016, 2017, when they were still doing stallion poses and the conditioning was nowhere near what it is now. The muscularity is nowhere near what it is now, right? And so, it's exactly what's going to stand out on stage. I also find that posing is varying quite a bit from person to person, and that can make a big difference. If you're not showing off your width of your shoulders, if you're not showing off your shape, and you're not having a nice wide stance, it's probably not going to go well for you. They're looking for athletes with a nice structure and a great shape, who have a nice display of muscle, but aren't coming in overly muscular or overly hard. So I'm going to let the tape roll here, and we'll just talk about it as we go. I think I muted it, so we'll see how it goes. I'll mute it now. Okay. So here's what they're going to do. Ladies face the back. So we're going to pause it here so we can get a good look at the athletes in the back pose. So what stands out to you here in the back pose? What are you seeing from athlete to athlete? My eye immediately goes to left of center to Ebony. If you just look at her back pose, you can see a little bit of separation in the hamstrings. You can see a little bit of separation in the glutes, but her skin is so nice. There's no lines, there's no flaws, and she has great shape. I'll also say this, and this is something that's still in debate. She's the only one that's actually wearing the proper coverage on her trunks. Now, I don't think that that had any impact on the placings, but if the rule right now states 50% coverage, and if you look far left, that's like bikini bottoms almost. That's probably like closer to 75, 80% not covered. And then even the other two competitors, you can still see quite a bit more than the 50%. Ebony is actually wearing the trunks that you're supposed to wear. Um, you know, when I was watching this, I was a little concerned that maybe we should have had her bring her trunks in a little bit. But if you just look at the glute pop on her, it's pretty good. And then you look at the shoulder to waist ratio, it's amazing. So again, in the back pose, it's about shape. But I also think it's about, and this is something that I learned from coaching bikini for many years, sometimes it's not what you have, it's what you don't have. And what Ebony does not have is any flaws. I don't look at her skin and think, oh, I see an issue there. If you look at the young lady next to her, underneath her glute, there appears to be a line there. That might seem insignificant on a video like this. Sometimes up close, that is very significant. And likewise, the lady all the way on the right in the pink, I see some wrinkles on her glutes. I also see, maybe her conditioning could be a little bit better. She also has really big quads, for her frame. And then if I go far left, great balance head to toe, great shoulder to glute to quad and everything ratio. But if you just compare the side by side, she has kind of a wider waist, right? So she's going to struggle in the back pose when she's compared to somebody like Ebony, because let's be honest, a small waist is a game changer in this division. And in most bodybuilding divisions, to be fair, yeah, if you want one great thing in this division, it's a small waist. So let's just roll it and see where they go from here. So you see that's the head judges. They're chatting, they're making notes, they're talking. And what's great about Bill, he was actually between overalls going backstage and giving feedback to the athletes while the show is happening. I need to move my screen so I'm not covering this young lady. She looks way too good to be covered. All right, so let's go back to the front pose and let's see what we see. My eye just continues to go to the young lady on the right. I don't know why this camera is zooming me in and out. The young lady on the right here, her shape is incredible. I think probably her feedback was just a little bit leaner. Her waist is nice and tight. Her shoulders look great. Her shape of her glutes and quads are amazing. She's right there. I mean, she's got a bright future in the sport, just the natural shape. So the young lady that was in class A, I'm guessing in the right of center, again, great structure, shoulder to waist shape is wonderful. She's got nice quads that show nice full shape without being too hard. Another great front pose, and you can see why she won. These were all very competitive classes with, between 15 and 25 competitors. So these winners were all, very, very good. And then we go far left. Her name is Andrea. Let's look at her. Okay, so shoulders, quads look fantastic. She's got the longer torso, but as I mentioned with the waist with her, if you just compare her next to the other athletes, she doesn't quite have the taper, but she has the lats, the shoulders that are really giving her the shape. Her hair makeup looks wonderful. So this is a very good overall. This might be one of the better overalls of the year as far as the depth of it. And remember, it's top two. So they really got their work cut out for them in deciding who are the top two. So, usually they're going to indicate who they like based on who they move. And so they move Andrea into splitting center. And so as an athlete right now, you're probably getting a little nervous. You're like, okay, I'm in the middle. And let's recompare them now that Andrea's moved, because it does change the angle a little bit. I was sitting just to the right of the judge off his shoulder. He was a little left of me. So his angle is slightly different. And from this angle, Ebony looks a little bit up and down, right? She doesn't quite have the shape that she had before because she was more forward. She was also on the right side of the box. Now my eye goes to the young lady all the way on the left. Shoulder width, great waist taper, great lower body. Just really, everyone's executing flawlessly. The posing, the angles all look great. So now they're going to face everybody to the back, and they're going to compare them again. And so this is where they're trying to pick apart an overall winner. And so let's go ahead and look at the two side by side in the back pose. And this is where you see just the genetic structure of Ebony. She's got a little bit more roundness to the shoulders. I don't think that that's something that they're necessarily looking for. I've heard from multiple judges, including Bill, don't build the shoulders. But again, I think it comes down to the natural flow of her physique. She's got more of an hourglass physique, whereas Andrea, the class D winner, has a little bit more of an X frame, right? She's wide in the shoulders, wide in the waist, and it's not quite as dramatic and flowy. And I think shape is the word that I hear over and over from the judges. So you want to come down and bring your conditioning to where it shows off your waist and your shape without getting too hard. Now, they've all nailed that. They all have really good conditioning. The young lady on the right, I might have caught her transitioning. I'm going to fast forward because I don't want. Yeah, I just think the young lady on the right in the pink might have the best genetics on this stage. But if you see when she walks, a little bit of wrinkling under the glutes, what they're looking for when they walk them to the back is they want to see if anything moves. They're looking to see if the glutes get smaller when they walk. Some girls are so good at arching that they make their glutes look big, and when they walk, they flatten out. And this is something I've talked to the judges about as well. So let's see here. So now they're going to have them face the back and hold, face the front and hold at the back. And right now, I think they're just looking at poise. They're just, okay, who's going to hold their poses? Who looks confident? They all look fantastic. And so you think when you're towards the middle that it's likely a good chance that you're going to turn pro at these events, as a coach. But I've seen they pick a winner and put her to the side. So, they could have picked like class A to be the winner. And then they were trying to compare, that happened to my client, John Hansen, that won the overall this year at North Americans. They put him to the side because they knew he was the winner. And then they compared the other three. So you never really know until they say your name, like literally never know. So here we go. Face the front one more time. And it looks like they're getting close to making a decision. And then they send them off to the diagonal. And what I can do now is I can actually bring up I have the video. Oh, no, I don't. There it is. I have the video from the announcement.
And our 2025 Weider Natural Pro Open Fit Model Overall Champion and new IFBB Pro number 94, Ebony Alvarado.
So this is where I get excited. So Ebony is coached by Lexie Maitland. And and that's actually my client Yahweh, who I turned pro in bikini a couple of years ago. So full circle moment. So congrats to Ebony, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you would like to see more of this stuff, please let me know, because this is the type of content I can definitely give you guys more of. I have more videos of overalls. I don't know why it keeps zooming like that. Let's just get rid of that feature, shall we? But yeah, if you guys would like to see more content like this, let me know, because I film at all the shows I go to, and usually the stuff just sits on my phone, and I intend to put it out, but I never do. So yeah. And if you'd like a free coaching consult, I'll put a link below for that if you're looking to compete this year, because things are changing and it's been fun to witness.